not go on an offer date,
Yeah.
or do not take an offer if you're just gonna take an offer for the sake of taking it. And I think it's
Because you're only driving the price up for yourself in the market. It's not nice to the other buyers that are now trying to compete because the agent's saying, oh, I got another offer. And so the mindset is, oh, I got to go higher automatically.
Don't be that person to take a random offer there.
Ask a lot of questions first.
And realistically, I mean, like, again, as a buyer, you may want to do that. I think the agent is the one that needs to educate you. And if they think for a fact, I mean, listen, if you think the offer is going to go through 100%, you got to put the offer in. But like, listen, don't go in with a crazy number. If the place is worth $1 million, they've listed it for $699, the chances are they're not even going to sell it for $700. So then don't take the offer. Don't be that person. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reality Check, where we discuss what's happening in Toronto's real estate market,
where it's going, and how you make informed decisions,
buying and selling. So before I hit this mic,
I know I'm like, hello, it's very ASMR.
So yeah, we're talking about January stats, and market has really shifted. And last month,
shifted so much. I feel like it's been forever since we last spoke.
Yeah,
every month is a different shift,
and we kind of knew. I think we kind of expected this to happen, but I didn't expect this to happen, I think, this quickly, because when we were recording last month, we saw there was some activity happening, but what we didn't see is like homes getting 85 offers in Mississauga.
Yeah.
But
or
we didn't
stagnant
see,
and all of a sudden getting multiples.
Yeah. And there's a lot of standing inventory that I noticed that sold. We're going to talk about.
For sure.
And there's been a lot of headlines about different aspects of real estate that we're going to also cover. So before we actually go into the stats and talk about the market watch, I want to talk about one of the most important announcements that we got to make thanks to whatever government that brought this.
The vacant home tax.
What is this about?
So you guys, make sure you fill out the vacant home tax. You got to fill it out whether it's vacant or not. We're going to put the link below. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. And the deadline is February 29th. So make sure you get that done.
And if you don't do it, you get dinged by a tax, and good luck with that.
Yeah. Anything to make a quick buck.
Yeah, really. So we had the vacant home tax. We have the land transfer tax.
What else?
Hopefully that will
foreign
not get
buyer
bumped
tax.
up. And foreign buyer tax. Yeah, let's just talk about that later. But let's get into the stats. I mean, guys, before we get into the stats, be sure to click that share button. If you know anyone that likes to know about real estate
that finds this useful,
or find this information useful, be sure to share it with them. Click that subscribe button, it means a lot to us. And click that notification, so anytime we put a new content, you get notified. It's not gonna bother you, believe me, but it means a lot to us. Things are looking totally different, so much so that last year the bottom of the market was January in terms of pricing, $1,036,000. They topped that, or they bottomed that. $1,026,000 this year.
That's a tongue.
Yeah, I think I gotta look at my dates, but I think we pretty much lost the entire week at the beginning of January.
2 weeks.
Yeah. No, by the time market had started to pick up, I think what was it, like listings that start to roll around 8th, 9th, 10th of January.
I was surprised.
Yeah. So I think this is why the numbers are low, and we had a lot of standing inventory that people had to get rid of that held it during the winter time, during December, and it kind of dragged into January. And I saw a lot of these listings that were sitting 60, 90 days. I saw a listing that was 160 something days on the market sold, and that's thanks to people seeing the opportunities. One, two.
I feel like everyone just woke up. Like my my offer that went through, it was on the market for like what? Since October.
So let's talk about that. So you put an offer on a
bungalow. Property was at Jane and Finch. It's a bungalow. Completely needs a renovation, like top to bottom. Okay, was listed at $1.3 million in October.
1.3 million.
1.3. They did a price reduction 2 months later. Another price reduction relist January. One offer she had got way back when she had originally listed, and then what happened? We're like, okay, let's put in an offer. This was the last week of January. 1 offer, 2 offers, 3 offers. 4th offer comes in at 10 p.m. 10 p.m.
When was the offer date?
There was no offer date. It was just sitting on the market completely stagnant.
Oh my
it's
God.
like we revived this. We revived the
there
property.
There was no offer date.
And it sold over 1.2, Nima. In Jane and Finch bungalow. What is happening?
Well, I mean, things are going crazy. Saw a bungalow that sold in Willowdale for 1.96.
Willowdale, I can see.
No, but the value of the bungalow was 1.68, 1.7 million
Land value
tops.
there at least.
But yeah, but like it's selling for over 200,000. I don't know who.
People love when we bicker like this.
Yeah, I don't know who was thinking what, but like it just doesn't make sense. And that was on a busy street. I'm just gonna say the name of the street.
Yeah,
It was
go
on
for it.
Empress. I mean, you can build on Empress, but it's not wise to build on Empress, especially where this was located, in my opinion. But again, what do I know about building? I guess
from the savvy builder, Nima.
I know. But yeah, so let's talk about the number of sales. So number of sales picked up a lot. So 4,200 sales compared to last year. I mean, this was a huge jump, over 30% jump.
A busy January
in sales. I mean, we saw that, and it wasn't a surprise. And because of the number of sales picking up, we see the month of inventory dropping to 2.39. I mean, like we hit 3 months of inventory, but now we're down to 2.39. And what does that indicate?
What does that translate to?
What does that indicate?
Months of inventory. You want to go into it?
No, I just want to know what the low months of inventory indicate.
I hope the viewers know what it means by now.
Well, what does the month of inventory mean?
So if no new listings were to come to the market, this is how long it would take for all the standing inventory to be sold.
Okay.
And if you're in the market, you'll actually feel this little shift.
Yeah. And then when we have a low month of inventory, what's the next thing that's going to happen?
Prices go up.
There you go. So that's a leading indicator that is going to happen if we see these low months of inventory getting pushed forward. Active listings, 10,093. I mean, compared to what we had in December, not much was changed, but keep into consideration that the active listings are counted at the last day of the month. So a lot of things that came on the market sold, it's not active. A lot of listings actually came on the market in January that we saw, and a lot of them had offer dates, surprisingly. So today we're gonna start with this new dot chart that is gonna show the prices in relation to the interest rate.
This is like everyone's new favorite chart.
I love this one because this is gonna be really important to look at going into 2024 because we are expecting lower interest rates, and this is gonna show what will happen as the interest rates will come down. So in March of 2020, we had the pandemic. The interest rates dropped drastically.
Free money days.
Yeah. And in April, we bottomed at 0.25 lending rate, overnight lending rate for Bank of Canada. So the prices came down in April, in May, because people were uncertain of what's going on. So we had a huge price drop. From that point on, prices started to rise gradually, as we can see here. I mean, like they went up and down a few months, but overall, it went up all the way to the February of 2022. And we peaked at 1,338,000 that we haven't seen so far. At that point in March, they increased the rates. So we had the first rate increase by 0.25, followed by 0.5%.
And if you see the prices are directly on the opposite.
Yeah, prices start to come down. So prices, the interest rate goes up by 0.25, prices start to come down. They increase by another 0.5 point, prices start to come down. Increase by another 0.5 point, starts to come down prices. And then July of 2022, they increased their rates by 1%. At that point, in my opinion, market should have tanked when you see something like that. But for 2 months, it held pretty well. As we can see, it flatlined. They even took that a notch higher by 0.75. And as we can see, not much happened to the price. As a matter of fact, prices gradually went up too.
Slowly.
So when we see things like this, that the interest rate is going up at a rate that we've never seen before, and the prices are holding a steady, that goes to show the demand that's there and it's supporting the prices. I mean, people will see the prices have come down. Now they're at a point that they're like, okay, you know what? I can afford this, and I'm going to pull the trigger, and I'm going to purchase this. Reason behind that is the economy is strong. They have employment. They can support the monthly payments. So with that being said, the interest rate goes up even higher by another 0.5 point in November. And as we can see, prices held pretty steady. They did one last increase, and that was pretty much where we saw in November of 2020, the prices come down. Yeah, November of 2022. The prices came down, and the overnight lending went up to all the way in January, went up to 4.5%. And that's where it gets interesting, because the prices were at the lowest in 2023 at $1,036,000. They held the rate at that high of a rate, and the prices started to go up.
Like the interest rates doubled, but the prices didn't go down as much.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Keep that in mind.
So, I mean, the interest rates were held January all the way till end of May. And as we can see here, prices in April and May peaked a lot. Reason behind that was the fixed mortgages came down slightly, and they were hovering around the 4.4, 4.5. Yeah, right. Right now. And that really fueled the real estate purchases.
And the timing of that, right? The
Exactly.
April timing.
So June, we had another rate increase by 0.25, and in July, we had another one. And as you can see, the very last one that got us to the 5% overnight lending rate did the job, and prices started to come down gradually. So now looking back into January, we had one of the lowest prices in the last, I would say, what is this? 2.5 years, let's just call it.
Yeah.
And we are sitting at a 5% lending, overnight lending rate by Bank of Canada. Majority of the rates that I'm seeing in terms of variable are hovering around the high fives, around 6. But things are looking better. We're seeing mortgage rates drop in the fixed mortgages. And as this continues, we're going to see more activity in the real estate market. So what does that tell us in terms of what to expect going forward? I personally think with the fixed rates coming down in the first 3 months, we will have more activity in terms of buyers coming to the market, because the prices are still really good. Yeah, attractive for them to come to the
And
table.
they're not like in that hectic mode of like crazy multiples. Going back to the multiple offers that we were in, it's like you're in a multiple offer situation with 3, 4, 5 other people, not 20, other than that Mississauga situation.
Well, even with the Mississauga situation in the article, they talk about it. Majority of the people that are coming to the multiple offer situations right now do not come with crazy numbers.
And they're not in that top 5 of the 20. I agree. They're just
they had like 80 odd numbers coming to the table with offers. Pretty much like probably 5 of the offers in the ballpark of what the seller wanted to accept, because everyone else was tire kicking, which I want to talk about that. Do not go in an offer date, or do not take an offer if you're just going to take an offer for the sake of taking it. If
making it, you mean, not taking it.
Yeah, taking the offer, making the offer, So, and I think it's...
Because you're only driving the price up for yourself in the market. And, it's not nice to the other buyers that are now trying to compete, because the agent's saying, oh, I got another offer. And so the mindset is, oh, I got to go higher automatically.
Don't be that person to take a random offer there.
Ask a lot of questions first.
And realistically, again, as a buyer, you may want to do that. I think the agent is the one that needs to educate you. And if they think for a fact, listen, if you think the offer is going to go through 100%, you got to put the offer in. But listen, don't go in with a crazy number. If the place is worth $1 million, they've listed it for $699. The chances are they're not even going to sell it for $700. So then don't take the offer. Don't be that person.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah, because what's going to happen is one person that really wants that property is going to overpay a little bit. And then you want to buy back into that pocket. Well, good luck with that. You just shot yourself in the foot. What do you think? That's what it is.
No, I agree.
You shouldn't be doing stuff like that.
I'm leaving you on a tangent today. I'm just watching you, and I feel like I'm on.
No, because I'm seeing this. I'm
seeing it too. I
people
agree.
come and they're like, "Oh, I had 8 offers." Okay, so what happened? No, we're still on the market. What happened?
How did you not?
Yeah, how did you not sell a house with 8 offers?
Also, it's talk to your seller and make him come down to reality too, because there's a happy middle that you guys should be able to
that's
agree
another
on. If you
thing.
have 8 offers, and that's kind of the price.
That's pretty much telling you what the market is. And if they're not paying it, they're not paying it. Well, maybe change the strategy. Don't put an offer date. Maybe do open offers. We'll talk about that another time.
The open offers. Oh, actually, I'm still getting used to the forms. The new forms that are implemented.
So let's talk about that. The new forms as of December 1st, there are new forms that...
From Tressa
that got implemented. And one of the biggest changes, in my opinion, for the sellers is actually two changes.
There's a few changes, actually.
So one of the biggest one is the fact that now you can hold offer dates and do open bidding, so as opposed to the blind bidding.
And I have a lot of opinions about why I'm not a fan of the open bidding.
Yeah.
The main reason being you can share, say, the price, but it could be conditional upon the sale of someone's house, and you're not sharing all of the information, so you don't have all the cards. So it's like misguiding a little bit, and I really hope they kind of tweak that a little bit. You're looking at me like I'm out to lunch.
I think they gotta disclose all the conditions.
Not everything. You can disclose, but you don't have to disclose all the conditions. You can choose to only disclose price.
That's crazy.
Or it's insane. And I don't
You are right.
think,
you are right.
And I don't think it's a fair process. So I hope they go back to the drawing board and tweak that.
Well, I mean, listen, I think because of the fact that the seller's in the driver's seat,
Yeah.
they get to pick whatever it is. And a lot of buyers previously, when you put yourself in buyer's shoes, you see 85 offers. That technically means the property is going to sell over $1 million. Clearly, in the Mississauga case, it did not sell. So
I just don't find it fair because it's in place to protect the consumer, the buyer.
yeah.
But how is it protecting the buyer if the buyer doesn't have all the information?
I guess you're still seeing the price. So
I
you're not gonna
know,
go
but
crazy
what if
on
it's
that.
conditional upon God knows what? The price is irrelevant.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not always just price.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that anyway. So
Yeah.
we'll
And
see
then
how
the
that
second
goes.
biggest change I would say is what? Like the self-represented parties, which I'm also not a fan of.
Yeah, I know you can. Self-represented parties now you can go and do your own offers.
Not recommended.
Don't be represented, and you just sign a form that you're not represented. So later on, you cannot go back to the listing agent and say that something went wrong.
A lot more paperwork though, and I have clients even noticing it and telling me, "Oh, the last time I transacted, I don't remember there being so much paperwork." And I'm like, you know what? It's really introducing you to what you're doing, the process,
I'm a fan of
how you're protected.
I'm a fan of that because the more
big time
disclosure that there is, and again, even with the self-representation, it's a good thing that people now know they can be self-represented because previously, we've had clients that, we were selling their home. Someone would come and say, oh, you know what, I want to put an offer myself. I'm like, listen, it seems like I got to be writing the offer. So if I'm writing the offer, I'm representing you, then, you got to get a lawyer to write it. And now they can do that. The biggest thing right now, besides these two, is also the exclusive listings. I know a lot of our sellers like to advertise their property off of MLS due to various reasons. Now we cannot do that. And now if listing is being advertised exclusively, publicly, so if we write so let's go back. When we do an exclusive listing and the seller asks us to advertise it, once we start publicly advertising an exclusive listing, it has to go to MLS after 3 days. So this is the biggest change. So I know a lot of people liked having their property exclusively listed till a right buyer comes because they didn't want a lot of traffic or other reasons. That cannot happen. One thing with that is there are exceptions with that. So please reach out to myself, Devany, and we can talk about the exceptions. One of the biggest exceptions is assignment sales and some of the commercial properties.
Yes, guys, we still have access to off-market properties.
We do. We do. I was actually worried at one point when they said
I
you can't do that exclusively.
I called you like how many times in a row? I was
and you know what the funny thing was? When they made the law, I don't think they thought about it because in December, when I was asking Trip and other people, no one knew. They're like, oh, well, no, you can't advertise that till they actually came up.
We had so much information and so many changes. Like I said, I'm still getting used to it.
So
it's wild out there.
Again, be sure that you know all these changes. Again, people that are not active in real estate, they may not know it, but your agents will know. So let's make sure we all know that.
And do it right.
Yeah. So let's just quickly go through what's been happening again. So months of inventory has lowered down to 2.39 months of inventory. Oof. Average sale price has dropped to $1,026,700. That is the lowest we've seen in the last 12 months. That is nuts. But I think this is going to be the lowest we ever going to see it. I don't see this coming down lower. Do you think?
No, I'm laughing because I was going to make a little funny joke, but I just...
Go for it.
No.
Okay. So, what was it?
You said something about nuts and I was going to say these nuts. Obviously, I can't say that, so I was just
Well, we
laughing
clearly
in
got
my
that,
head.
but anyways.
Well, they're gonna cut it out.
No, they're not gonna cut it out.
Oh my
Justin,
God.
don't cut it out. So average days on the market has gone up actually to 37 days. That's crazy, right? I
Where?
can't remember the last time,
37?
and
Oh,
that's
wow.
in January last. I can't remember the last time we had 37 days.
You know, January is not a good indicator of anything.
Yeah.
It's just doing what it's doing.
I don't even know what I did
passes.
in January.
I was away. Thank Jesus.
Been taking a lot of vacations lately, Dev.
I'm making
Been
too much
taking
money, Nima. What can I say? Joking.
Clearly.
It's a joke,
So
guys.
let's go. I just want to go through some of these micro markets and just see what's going on overall because each market is kind of behaving differently.
Different, yeah.
And it's really good
As usual.
to see what exactly is going on. So let's start with Toronto. So Toronto average price is actually down 2.8%. Sales are up 32%, and that's again goes to show what we're kind of
Up since when? Month over month or year over year?
No, it's year over
Just
year.
make sure people know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's year over year, month over month. The sales are also up. Just so that we go back month over month. So December we had 3,400 sales. January we've had 4,200. So the sales are up, but year over year we're up. So January of 2024 compared to January of 2023, it's up 32%. Active listing has gone up 17%, and that has pushed the months of inventory just for the city of Toronto to over 3 months of inventory. Again, good deals on condos. I don't know how many times I got to say this, but
Only 800 sales.
883
83.
sales in Toronto for condos, which is low, but compared to last year, it's gone up 46%. I mean, these are literally indicators that is telling everyone the prices will probably go up in the near future if this thing continues to
It's
go
a
up.
great place to park your money. You know what I mean? Like just buy a condo even as an investment and let that grow.
I mean, it all depends what price point you're in, but
Well, listen,
real
the
estate
average
overall
price,
is good.
the average sale price is hovering a little over 700,000. So I think I'm not going to say anybody can get in, but you know,
And that is actually a good point.
Anybody
Average price
can
in
get
Toronto, I think back in February of 2020 for condos, around January or February, either one of them. But anyways, it was 800,000. So you're getting a good deal
you're
on these condos.
getting a great deal right now.
And if you're buying assignments, how many times I gotta say this? I love assignments. There's so many good deals on assignments.
Yeah.
You gotta make
Distressed
sure
sales.
if you are looking into the condo segment, detached, freehold, semis, there are so many assignments out there.
Let us know, guys. We have a private assignment group. So if you want to be
Yeah.
a part of that and see handpicked deals,
And we're gonna put the link
Join.
down below.
Yes.
So you guys can
participate.
participate in it. Or you can call my number 416-666-3046 or Devany, and then we will add you into the group. We try to add daily deals in there, and these are handpicked. This is not just random
You're
stuff
not
that we
getting
send out.
inundated. It's not a chat. No one's really communicating. It's
just-
all like off the chat
Yeah.
after. It's like, okay, hey, Nima, you put this thing in the chat. Like, tell
Yeah,
me a
it's
little
funny
bit more
that no
about
one
that.
actually asks anymore.
I
Everyone
love it.
messages me directly.
Can I say why I love it? Because nobody wants to open a chat that has like 30 missed like messages.
Yeah.
You know that when you're opening it, it's all relative. You're getting the information at a quick glance.
I love it.
And it's like an
But a few
unsaid
days
thing.
ago, I sent something, and I didn't expect it. It was like, I think, 10:30 at night, and that's when I usually send it out because that's my only
or
free
at
time.
3 a.m. Sorry
Or
to the
3
people
a.m.
who are ring
Either
on.
or. Yeah, and just put my phone away.
Yeah.
And then I turned it on. There was like 4 messages on
Yeah.
that one assignment. I was like shocked. I'm like, I guess people are looking at their phones at 9:30 at night, 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
So,
for sure. Right before bed.
yeah.
Scroll.
I mean, like, yeah, I think that's the best time anyways. I mean, that's when I get to actually go through some of these deals and send them out.
Yeah.
Um,
Back to that
back to the real estate.
market.
So let's go to York region. That's another area that we've been following pretty closely. So sales has gone up 42%, 42.5% compared to last January. Prices are down 5.8, almost 6% compared to last year.
Weren't
Prices,
they up last December though?
They were up last year.
They were up last
yeah.
yeah.
The prices.
So see how crazy it is, guys, that like from one month to another, a certain micro market can actually perform completely different.
Yeah. So again, the composition of the sales are also a factor in the
Yes.
average price. As we can see, condo sales formed a lot of these sales. I mean, like 188, so they were up almost 70%. And these are condos mostly trading in around 6 to 800,000. So that's why. And the average price of a condo is 665. Condo prices have remained pretty much flat year over year in York region, and that is due to the fact that a lot of people are buying in York region.
I think detached townhouse is like the most competitive though in that pocket.
Detached
And in a lot of
townhomes,
pockets actually right now.
for sure.
Months
Oakville,
of inventory is, oh wow.
Oakville, the months of inventory has dropped to 2.44. I mean, last year I was kind of like
Not
telling
surprised.
everyone to be buying in Oakville. I think
We've
that
been telling
ship
people to
has
buy in
sailed.
Oakville for the last 2 years.
Yeah, and funny enough, Oakville has one of the highest average prices in GTA, or in around GTA, like 1,451,000. That's bunkers. It's higher than Toronto, and
And days on market is quite high though.
yeah,
40 days.
yeah.
Which means
40.
people can actually just hold on and get the price that they want. Like, I like that.
Well, also that also, I mean, goes to show that a lot of inventory that was not sold last year carried over to this year and sold. So
Also,
that's another point.
as well.
Second point, total sales went up 23%. Active listings also slightly went up by 2.2%. So, I mean, these are some of the reasons.
Buyers have begun to
why-
re-enter the market with sales volume up 38% and prices down only 2% compared to January 2023.
Yeah, that's Brampton.
You're wondering where I was reading that?
Yeah, that's Brampton. That's Brampton. So in Brampton, I mean,
Sorry.
we had sales volume go up 38%, almost 40%, and because of that, the months of inventory went down to 1.68%. I mean, like you're getting an average price of less than $1 million in or around Toronto. That is going to be attractive. So when you
I think in the next couple of months, the under million mark is really going to be more attractive than ever.
100%, it has
I'm
always
noticing.
been attractive.
But even more so now.
Yeah. And again, these are the reasons why we see opportunities. I mean, last year the average price was $1.2 million. The craziness of 2022, average price was $1,367,000. So I mean, you've dropped down by about $370,000 in average price in Brampton. So if you are in the market to buy, now is the time, because as you see, months of inventory has dropped, so not much to buy. So you are going to probably run in a lot of multiple offers in the detached and in the detached and freehold segment. So I think with that, we can stop talking about stats and talk about some of this stuff that's happening in the news.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's kind of important to point out. First things first, you talked about the vacant tax, so make sure to fill that out by February 29th. This is only for people in Toronto. If you're not in Toronto...
Oh, it's a leap year this year.
Yeah, is it?
Well, the 29th.
It is.
It's a long year. Sorry.
Yeah. Going forward to the news. So,
It's a leap year.
It is. To be honest, like
Wants to kill me.
it doesn't matter much these days. Okay, so let's talk about what's happening in the news.
Yes.
One of the biggest news piece that we heard was
Foreign buying.
foreign buying. Government
Being
extends
extended.
ban on foreign buying in Canadian housing. I mean, we had the foreign ban
Yeah.
till January of 2025. That got extended for another 2 years to all the way to
Not much has
2027.
changed.
So, I mean, it's going to be all the same, and realistically...
I don't think this has a lot of weight in our marketplace. So the fact that this even makes headlines and disrupts the way people think about the real estate market bothers me, because it's not like... it's not accurate. Not that it's not accurate. There's not a lot of weight in foreign, and there's so many loopholes. There are so many loopholes for foreign buyers to come in and buy that this is a joke.
If you're on a work visa,
angry.
certain work visas can buy it. Refugees still can buy it. If it's got, if you're buying, I think 3 unit dwellings, meaning like, let's say if you got a duplex with a
Multiplex.
legal basement, essentially you could buy it.
Student, this, that,
And
and
students
the other.
can still buy it in certain price points.
And they actually-
like less than $500,000, up to $500,000, students can buy it.
The students, by the way, they're actually
That is
lowering the
crazy.
amount of students that they're allowing into Canada
They
this year.
should, because
Yeah.
look at what's going on downtown rental right now.
Well, that's why I'm mentioning it, is because maybe that will affect the rents a little bit.
And so I mean, the rental market is also being affected. So let's talk about that. The rental market in Toronto has been affected for the last 90 days.
Yeah.
And what we saw, let's say, about a year and a half ago, the craziness of like, having a 1-bedroom condo in downtown Toronto jump 25% within a few months has kind of stopped. Prices have softened.
Yeah, September happened, and I think the students have a big part of the downtown rental market. And so
but it's
because
happening all over town. Yeah, it's happening
too.
all over town.
Yeah.
So it's around October, the rental market kind of eased up, and we've seen prices come down. Not a lot, but we've seen like anywhere from 5 to 10% drop in a lot of these condo rentals and other housing types. So the rental market has become a little bit much more easier to get into.
Yes.
Although it goes without saying, with all the rules and regulations, the landlords are really strict on who they allow into their place.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Yeah, exactly. And that is something that needs to be talked about. So while we're in the same topic, I want to talk about this new website that was all over the news in January, and it's called openroom.ca. Essentially, this is a new registry for bad tenants, and
those bad tenants.
Yeah, so you got any issues with the tenants, you don't want anyone else going through the same experience, you get them posted there. And this is what Toronto, Ontario actually needed, because, listen, there's a lot of
scam artists out there.
Scam artists.
Fake documents rolling around.
Yeah, and people just, squatting. Yeah. And this is the reason why, the rental market is where it is, because of rent control, because of the fact that, there is not much recourse from the landlord. If a tenant is not paying, if the tenant is being problematic, there's not much you can do.
Especially after COVID, I think landlords now are so apprehensive before they lock in a tenant. The amount of due diligence that's required is like times 10 nowadays.
Exactly.
And I don't blame them.
I mean, listen, there is things that the landlord can do, but the process is prolonged. So for the landlord to get the result, it's got to be, sometimes a year.
Yeah.
To see any result, and then by that point, what are you going to do?
You're still responsible for the mortgage payments too. So
I mean, like, that's the problem that a lot of landlords are facing, and that's why we've seen a lot of landlords actually dispose their place and say, listen, I don't want to deal with this, and that's why the rental pool has shrunk. So that's another piece of news, and pretty much I think the other thing that was all over the headlines.
I just wanted to say, like, we always talk about the benefits of buying, and I don't want to say like it's always just like, oh, everything's so great and shiny. That is one of the risks. So
another
reality.
Another piece of also news that was all over the news. I mean, like, we had headings about Toronto real estate market rolls back to life. We had a strong start to home sales in 2024. Yeah. I mean, these headlines were there, and pretty much talk about the fact that sales picked up that we saw in 2024 January. With that being said,
we're all done.
Click, share, like, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. Be sure to watch our last episode with Anton about Airbnb and how to invest in Airbnb and everything you need to know. Also, be sure to tune in for our next episode of NK Real Talk. We're going to be with Raki talking about assignment financing and everything you need to know, because assignments are tricky. Be sure to watch that. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.